Windows 11 is now #1. The 9070 GRE keeps on expanding, and this is the worst news that I could have imagined. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Monday, July 7th, 2025. And we're going to start off today talking about a big shakeup in the world of operating systems because, as it turns out, finally, Windows 11 has topped Windows 10 as the #1 Windows operating system, and thereby likely the #1 operating system in the world. Finally, as of July of this year, it has now hit 51.77% of all Windows installations that are out there, and making it so that Windows 10 has dropped to just 45%. This is happening as Windows 11 is set to become the de facto standard, with Windows 10 losing its security updates for people who don't want to pay this coming October. But one of the interesting things that I learned while investigating this story is that we're about 4 months away from the end of life for Windows 10 when it just comes to raw support, and that is now when Windows 11 is hitting that 50% mark. Do you know when Windows 10 hit the 50% mark? Yes, also roughly 4 months before Windows 7 got its end of life. Windows 7's end of life was January of 2020, and it wasn't, I think it was September of 2019 was when Windows 10 finally cracked the 50% installation mark. So kind of has the same cadence, the same setup as it was for the previous operating system. It's technically on a faster timeline because Windows 10 is going defunct a little bit sooner than Windows 7 did, but it's also the same if you look at it in a different light. Well, if you want some obvious news, I'm here to report to you that if you nerf your PCI Express bandwidth on your system, it's going to hurt your graphics card. It's going to hurt the performance. Now we have some raw numbers to indicate what that actually looks like. Puget Systems coming out with a whole bunch of data on how limiting PCI Express limits in RTX 5090 and various different productivity applications, and it's roughly what you would expect. PCI Express 5.0 with 16 lanes does roughly the best in most of the benchmarks, with 16 lanes of PCI Express 4.0 doing about the same, and 8 lanes of PCI Express 5.0 doing about the same, because that's 16 lanes of 4.0, and then when you drop down to 4 lanes of 5.0, that's like doing 8 lanes of 4.0 or 16 lanes of PCI Express 3.0. It all just shows that there is degradation in various different aspects. Now, the one where it's really interesting, there is more degradation with 4.0 in something like Blender, but in their LLM AI Llama benchmark, it turns out it's random because 5.0 did worse than 3.0, 16 lanes and 4 lanes. None of it made any sense, and they said that they couldn't find any reason or rhyme to explain it. Roughly, it's a 10% loss if you go to 16 lanes of PCI Express 3.0, and then it goes down to 25% if you go to buy 8. This is kind of known, but it's good to see that it's quantified, it's real, it's happening, and make sure that you have an updated motherboard if you're buying one of the best graphics cards that's out on the market. But in case you're looking for one of the slower AMD graphics cards that isn't available in the US right now, don't worry, it looks like we just have to wait more time because the 9070 GRE, which launched exclusively in China recently in the last couple of weeks, launched in Taiwan as well, and now it has launched in another not China country of Hong Kong. So it looks like it's slowly expanding in the Southeast Asian region. Potentially it'll make a worldwide debut at some point, but I just wanted to keep highlighting when it happens so that we can keep anticipating this graphics card if and when it ever does launch. And I anticipate UFD Deals every single time Reece does it. He's probably prepping big for Amazon Prime Days or whatever it's called that's happening this week. Have him tell you about it.
Yo, welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope you guys had a good weekend, and I'll jump into the deals for you guys. Starting us off today, we have the Sticklemonster NR200 Mini ITX small form factor case available in black for only $52.99 with a coupon applied, making it $57 off. But then next up, we have the SteelSeries Arctis Nova 4X wireless gaming headset, which you can grab for only $67.98, making it $57.01 off. But then if you need noise cancelling, you can always grab the Sony XM4 wireless noise cancelling headphones, with the black and silver variants going for $194.99, making it $153.01 off. I use these personally here at the office. But hey, them's the deals. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But don't forget, we're going to be doing our annual Prime Day live stream, where we as a community help source deals for each other, and hey, you can join in on the fun. And with that, I'll hand you off back to Brett for the rest of your hot news. Cheers.
Well, Reece, I hope you saved me a lot of money, because Hyte just launched a collaboration that I am salivating over, but will not be in the United States to receive, and probably will not pay to ship to South Africa, and that is their Gundam Wing collaboration. collection, Bandai Namco and Height collaborating on, oh man, something that I really want. Mostly the case, the desk pad is alright, the Gundam keycap set also looks pretty good, but the price point, 500 bones to get this Gundam Y70 Touch Infinite. Some people might think this is gaudy and audacious, and I would happen to agree with them, but it's also something that I would absolutely rock. I love the yellow accents that they have on the lines of the back panel, and then also the hard drive sleds and the PCI Express covers. This is just, Height does really good collaborations, and this is one that hits me right in the childhood nostalgia. Now, you might think $500 is a lot for a case. You are absolutely correct. However, if we put it in context of the regular Y70 Infinite, you are just paying an extra $60 for the Gundam version. So if you were gonna get the Y70 Touch Infinite in the first place, you could spring for a collab version potentially. But one of the things that a lot of people want in the tech world is a collaboration between AMD and NVIDIA, or at least having AMD's cards run NVIDIA's CUDA software. And one of the things that's been in development for many years and has many starts and stops and failures has been the project ZLUDA, which originally started as getting Intel GPUs to work with CUDA. Then it shifted to AMD, and now it looks like they are still at it. They are growing in their devotion to the cause, and they have more developers than ever working on getting Project ZLUDA to bring various different portions of CUDA acceleration to other cards that are non-Team Green. Now, one of the things that's also interesting here is that they are reportedly working on bringing 32-bit physics into their entire setup, which is good. And kind of one of the things that like NVIDIA really wants with 32-bit physics. The whole point of them degrading that was that the software cost of keeping that up is too high for the amount of people that use it, and so if the community wants it, the community should develop for it, and that's now what's happening. But Project ZLUDA now has a second developer who's working on all of this. They're making great progress in various different aspects. It's not quite clear if and when this might actually be ready for a real launch, but development is happening. They're still dependent on open source implementations and the free open source software community for assistance in all of the things that they're trying to achieve, but I just wanted to highlight it here because it seems like it's a good thing for the community overall. But I'm also disappointed in the community overall because we're getting details on what GPUs yins are buying, and it turns out yin's buying the dead ones. You're buying the DOA cards. You're buying the weird ones, the ones that I can't even see a reason why you would pick up. And yet we're finding in sales reports and in Steam hardware survey that that's the top seller. So with the new Steam hardware survey, the RTX 50 series is making its debut in these numbers. And what we're finding is that the RTX 5070 is the big boy, hitting nearly 1% of all GPUs on the Steam hardware survey, surpassing the 2060 Super as well as the 4090 quite quickly. 5080, 5070 Ti, and the 5090 also making it into this lineup, but the 5070 buying away the most popular card from the current generation, whether that's in the Steam hardware survey, or if we take a look at sales data specifically from Amazon, but from other retailers, it looks like the 5070 is just the top seller. Now, you will find that in the Steam hardware survey, there is not a lick, nary a mention of the RX 9000 series GPUs, and that is because they are categorized under other because they don't have 0.15% of the market share. Despite launching at the same time as the 5070, the 9070 and the 9070 XT are just nowhere to be seen because gamers don't appear to be picking them up at quite as quickly as they are the 5070 and otherwise. But what we see in a single month, Amazon US selling the most 5070, then it goes to the 5060 Ti and the 5070 Ti. But it does look like the 9070 XT had a slightly good month. It appears that it maybe isn't selling as good in the rest of the world or potentially at other retailers because it did come in fourth in terms of total GPU sales, but that's not being reflected in the overall Steam community. And the 9070 is significantly below that. But in case you want to ask about what's going on with Intel's GPUs, I don't want you to look at this part of the chart because they're below the RX 580. The ARC B 580 getting outsold by the 8-year-old mining card. It is rough. Oh boy. Also, Intel not on the Steam hardware survey for the exact same reasons of just not having enough gamers utilize them. We reviewed the RTX 5070 on launch, and we knew it was barely better than the 4070 Super. It just didn't make any sense at the comparison to something like the 9070, let alone the 9070 XT, and the price points just also kind of line up. Even still, maybe this has to do with the fact that the 9070 and 9070 XT are also not at MSRP, and it's just kind of a crap show no matter which way you slice it. But the 5070 being the #1 seller, I mean, I get it. It's probably like one of the most popular pre-built cards. That's probably also aiding in this. It's not just the fact that people are going out and buying it DIY and slapping it into their system. Pre-built companies are getting it, and they're able to install it in the same systems that they were installing 4070 Supers into. Then yes, it's going to still be popular for that reason. But it's just that card should not be where it is. That's my take on it. And let's see what Yin's takes was on Thursday's episode of Hot News. Let's see what you got. You got KTVX saying we're skipping 20A straight to 18A so we can skip to 14A and never release a node for production ever. It's not that Intel is releasing them and they're gonna use them. It's just that they're not gonna be able to ship it to foundry customers, and it's gonna be in limited production when they are. It's just it's sad. It's sad, which Treacherous Fennec says, I just want Intel to succeed with whatever they're doing at this point. Competition is very important. I agree. Like, if Intel goes down or they get bought out, it looks like x86, AMD, their competition is going to be ARM. It's going to be NVIDIA and Apple. It's not going to be another x86 company, which would be weird. What's also weird is this comment by private name 7634 who said, bro talks like the dude in old Bud Lightyear cartoons. I don't know to which cartoons you're referring, nor the dude in those cartoons. If anybody wants to enlighten me, maybe put it in the Discord in our Medium and Memes channel. Give me a reference here so that I can understand what you're talking about. That'd be great. What's also going to be great is seeing you back here on Wednesday for more of the hottest tech news. We have to skip tomorrow due to some production reasons, hence why you're also getting a Monday episode. We're doing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday here. Also, don't forget, we do have PC giveaways going on over on Twitch, in case you want to come check us out, twitch.tv/UFD Tech for an RTX 5090 giveaway, and over on twitch.tv/UFD Music, we got a 9070 XT giveaway. PCs. Whole PCs, not just the GPUs. And not just me being here anymore, because I'm going to end this episode of Hot News. See you later.